Are we here? We're here. We got music?
Got music.
We got music? All right. Then we are set, baby. We are set. Let's turn the music down a little bit. Get ready to rock and roll. Amazing Grace Sports Network here on Thursday. Thursday, the
13th.
2023 year of our Lord Jesus Christ. Rocking and rolling. The NBA playoffs are upon us. We have some upsets. We have some games that aren't upsets. But we're going to start off with, well, I kind of malign this team all the time, Chicago. Chicago went to Toronto. They went to Toronto, and they beat Toronto in Toronto. Yes, Chicago, with that prolific scorer named Pat Beverly, went into Toronto, and they did the job. 109 to 105, 109 to 105. They pulled it out. They outscored Toronto by 13 points in the fourth quarter, and that really was the name of that tune. Let's start off with the losers.
Didn't they get Pat Beverly to play in the playoffs? I'm just asking.
They did. I thought it would never happen.
I'm just asking.
I downplayed the move. I said, this will never happen. Getting Pat Beverly is not going to get these jokers in the playoffs, and I was wrong. Do we have I don't know if we have anything for that. Is there a key that we have for that shows us how bad I played that? I don't know how to do that. Whatever. Is there a rim shot there somewhere? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it happened. Chicago made the playoffs, and not only that, they beat Toronto. It was the 9th versus the 10th team. So they still have to play the Heat. I think it's either tonight or tomorrow night. That's right. They still got to play the Heat. So I may not be wrong on my Pat Beverly prediction. I don't think Chicago's going to beat the Heat.
Well.
Anyway, let's just get off with Pascal Siakam did show up for Toronto. He played 42 minutes, 13 for 22, 32 points. OG Ginobili, again, this is a guy I always say is the weakest link. He can get you 7 and he can get you 30. He played 42 minutes, was 4 for 13 and gave you 13 points. Scotty Barnes gave you 19. Jakob Porto, well, he was the weakest link, but he only took 4 shots. 3 for 4, 7 points. They didn't give him the ball too much. Fred VanVleet had to try to pick up the slack, played 42 minutes, 8 for 22, and 26 points. They only got 8 points from the bench, so we really can't talk about that. But let's go on to the winners, the Chicago Bulls. Yes, Chicago came in there, and they laid it to him. DeMar DeRozan, and this is the reason why they paid this guy the money, 10 for 19, 23 points. Nikola Vucevic, 6 for 14, 14 points. And the aforementioned Pat Beverly. Yes, Pat Beverly was actually out there on the court. He played 26 minutes, was 1 for 5, and a big 3 points, everybody. 3 points. So don't take it seriously that he really contributed a whole lot. I will say this, though. Patrick Beverly was a -1 in the plus-minus, so, I don't know what to say for that. Alex Caruso, 31 minutes, 9 points, and Zach LaVine, 40 minutes, plus 11 for 39 points. 40 minutes, 39 points. He carried the whole team. Patrick Williams came off the bench for 10, and the bench gave him 21 points, and that is that.
Then we have OKC went on down to see Mr. Zion and the Pelicans. Well, Mr. Zion decided that he don't feel like himself. He can do everything.
He doesn't feel like Zion yet, and he can't get on the court until mentally he feels like Zion.
This very pertinent time that they needed him, he decided to take the night off. And OKC said, all right, we're going to beat you 123 to 118, and you go on vacation. And that's what happened.
That's right. Have a nice vacation. Have all that gumbo and okra that you want, because Zion Williamson still doesn't feel like Zion Williamson yet.
Feel like yourself soon, buddy. Anyway, let's see what they did. Mr. Brandon Ingram came in and gave them 30. Gave them 38 minutes, 10 for 19 shooting for 30 points. Mr. Herbert Jones gave him 39 minutes, 7 for 16 shooting for a big 20 points. Mr. Jonas Valanciunas, 30 minutes, 7 of 9 shooting for 16 points. Valanciunas. Mr. Christian J. McCollum, 41 minutes, 5 of 15 shooting for 14 points. And then you have Mr. Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy the third gave him 44 minutes, 6 of 16 shooting for 21 points.
Not bad.
The bench gave him 15 points. And their total was 118, but not enough to beat OKC.
Not enough to go to the big dance.
Big Dance said, not this year. Not this year. Mr. Jalen Williams gave him 32 minutes for OKC. Gave him 32 minutes, 3 of 9 shooting for a big 8 points. Then we have Mr. Jalen Williams. Gave him 40 minutes, 4 of 14 shooting for a big 11 points. Then we have Mr. Shai Giglius Alexander. Gave him 41 minutes, 11 of 22 shooting for a big 32 point. He was the high scorer. Mr. Josh Giddey, 42 minutes, 11 of 22 shooting for a big 31 points. And then you had Mr. Dort pulled up the rear. Lugentis Dort. Lugentis Dort's 36 minutes, 8 of 14 shooting for a big 27 points. And the bench gave him 14 points, was enough to push them over 123 to 118.
You know what? That Shai Gilgeous Alexander, that's pretty hard to pronounce. Here you go. Here you go. That's what you get. Somebody named their son that.
Really?
Really?
It was in the heat of the moment.
There was something going on there.
What shall we name him?
Shai Gilgeous Alexander. I want to talk about Zion Williamson for a little bit. Zion, well, he missed all of last season, right? And then he only played 29 games this season. And what was that? Here's what he said. Here's what Zion said. Zion says people think I'm injury prone. He said, well, physically, I feel fine. Physically, now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion. I can pretty much do everything. It's just a matter of the level I was playing at before my hamstring. You know, I'm a competitor. I don't want to go out there and be in my own head and affect my team. I know myself. If I go out there, I would be in my head a lot, and I would hesitate on certain moves. Your team lost by 5 freaking points. You could have dragged yourself up the court 5 minutes. 10, your team could have won this game. I don't. The question is for New Orleans, what are they going to do? What can they do? I mean, they gave this guy an extension. He's out more than he's in. I don't know if he can make it through a season, much less a playoffs.
You know, someone he reminds me of is Ralph Sampson.
Ralph had legitimate injuries, though. Knees. He had knee injuries. It wasn't a pulled hamstring. Yes. You got to give Ralph that.
Maybe.
and Ralph did not get hurt till like his 5th year in the league.
Yeah.
He went through he went up and down for a guy who was that tall, putting that much torque on his limbs.
Well, psychological injuries is worse than physical injuries sometimes. So oftentimes you'll get hurt and you'll rehab and it appears that you're better, but mentally you're always kind of staying away from doing too much because you feel like you're going to re-injure again, you know?
It's been 4.5 months.
I understand.
4.5 months.
Everybody's psyche is different.
He needs to be psyched out of his head.
Hey, 2023 versus 1990s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s.
Now you're dating us. Yeah, now you're dating us. That's right. You want a rim shot for that? There you go. Feel better now? Yeah. Drag. I would drag myself out for a couple of plays. I mean, you're the best player on the team, Zion. You're probably going to be one of the two best players out on the court. So you're going to have to try to deliver something. You might not be able to be 100% mentally, but they're in the trouble now. If you think you got to be 100% in order to play, forget about it. They're done. Well,
Yeah.
moving on to the next game where people actually do play, whether they're hurt or not hurt. That would be the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Miami to take on the Miami Heat. And yes, everyone thought it was a mismatch. Everyone thought Miami would win that game. And what happened? Atlanta took it to them, slapped, jacked them, and took it. They won 116 to 105, 116 to 105 over the Miami Heat. Let's just talk about how this happened. What happened to Miami? Well, I'll tell you what happened to Miami. They were terrible. That's right. I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't doing much of it. So let's just get right down to it. Miami, Jimmy Butler, 6 for 19. He attempted 1 3-pointer. You're going to like this. 1 3-pointer, 21 points. He was a minus 10. Bam Adebayo was 5 for 12. He attempted no 3-pointers. He had 12 points. Gabe Vincent, 2 for 6. Actually, he attempted 6 3-pointers. He made 2, 6 points. Tyler Hero, 12 for 23, 2 for 9 from the 3-point line, 26 points. And Matt Strus played 24 minutes, was 1 for 5 for 3 points. The starters shot 21 3-point shots, and they made 5 of them.
Whoa.
That was the starters. Now, there was this guy who came off the bench. I really don't like him that much, but let me tell you something. He lit it up. Kyle Lowry. Usually Kyle's always falling down and trying to get a foul, but I guess since he's coming off the bench, he doesn't have time to do that anymore. He just has time to play. And when Kyle Lowry really plays, Kyle Lowry can really play, okay? Kyle Lowry came off the bench with 11 for 16 and 33 points. 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. Carried Miami. They would have got blown out by even more than that had it not been for Kyle Lowry coming off the bench to give him 33. Okay, let's get to the winners, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I love this game because, see, this game actually made the Atlanta Hawks move into 7th place so that they can play the Boston Celtics. And actually, what's going to happen is that Miami's going to beat Chicago, and so they're going to end up playing the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, right.
Which is the best thing that could have happened. Where's my applause? The best thing that could have happened was what happened right then and there. That being said, let's move on to the winners. The winners were, and I don't even know why John Collins is still on this team, because they only gave him 10 points as usual. When you need him to do something, he shrinks from the battle, played 22 minutes, gave him 10 points. 4 for 8, didn't want to shoot the darn ball. DeAndre Hunter came in, played 22 minutes, 2 for 9, 6 points. Clint Capella didn't try to pick up the slack either. Played 28 minutes, 2 for 3, but thank gosh for Trae Young. Trae Young, hurt, battered, bruised as he is, still dragging himself on the court. He's got a hamstring injury in his left hip. He's got a bad shoulder. He's got a bad arm. And he still felt like Trae Young was out there to go out there and play.
Did he feel like himself?
It felt like I just had to get out there because you're the best player on the darn team. It depends on you just to show up, just to give him a little hope.
Yeah.
And he went 8 for 18. He tried his best, gave him 25 points. DeJounte Murray came out there 7 for 16, 18 points. They got 10 points, 12 points from Onyeka Okongwu. Then they got 17 points from Sadiq Bey, who was a late pickup from Detroit. Detroit picks up 3 centers, but they give away their best forward, Sadiq Bey, who came in and gave him 17 points. And Jalen Johnson played 14 minutes and gave him 10 points. And Bogdanovich, coming off the bench, did the job. He played 26 minutes, was 5 for 11 for 14 points. And the Atlanta Hawks shocked the world. They shocked Miami. Slapped them, jacked them, and took it. Right there in Miami. That's the name of that tune.
Man, look at here.
Oh, man.
Look at here. So the Timberwolves went down to L.A.
They got jobbed.
Went down to L.A.
They
They said they're going to see if they can deal with Clay's favorite team. And unfortunately, 6 points short or shy of winning, they lost to L.A.
They got jobbed. The refs came in and stole that game. Actually, I would say that, but Anthony Edwards, okay, you're going to go through his stat line, but he was 3 for 17. for 9 points. The leading scorer the whole season blanked out, just completely dropped the.
Oh, you don't deserve to win if you ain't putting
You
the
got to
ball
put
in
something
the,
into it.
put the
They
ball
had
in
this
the palm.
game.
Put the
They
ball
had
in
this
the,
game. It went into overtime. And another thing, not only did Anthony Edwards crap the bed, so didn't Karl Anthony Towns. The two best players did not do well.
Well, what are you gonna do? Well, let's see what we got. For Minnesota, we had Mr. Taurine Prince, 43 minutes, 5-11 shooting for a big 14 points. Mr. Kyle Anderson, 45 minutes. Well, he played the whole game. 5 of 14 shooting, for 12 points. They ain't scored too much, but they played the whole game.
He's there.
Yeah, they were showing up. Mr. Karl Anthony Towns, 41 minutes, 8 of 12 shooting for a big 24 points. He'd be the
Gotta
highest
shoot
scorer.
more.
Mr. Conley,
He
Mike
showed up.
Conley, 44 minutes, 7 of 11 shooting
The
for
oldest
23.
man on the court.
Mr. Conley, how old is Mr. Conley? Mr. Conley's 35 years old.
Yeah, the oldest man on the court actually played the best for that team.
Yeah, he did. And you have the star, the infamous Anthony Edwards came in for 43 minutes. He hit 3 of 17, and he gave him a big 9 points.
You forgot that. There's a little stat you missed right there. Look at that 3-point shooting thing.
3.0 for 9.
0 for 9.
There's a negative and a plus minus call.
0 for 9.
Woo!
Woo!
So the bench gave him 20 points, thanks to Kyle Alexander. However, it still was not enough. They only had 4 people on the bench anyway, and nobody else.
20 points from the bench. Somebody tried to pick it up for them, but they couldn't pick it up high enough to get over that bump in the road.
Let's look at rock and roll LA.
Oh my gosh.
Anthony Davis came in there as he always does. 43 minutes, 10 of 19 shooting, 0 for 1 in the 3-point line. He went to the foul line and gave him 4 of 6, and he gave him 24 points.
24 hard-earned points.
Very hard-earned points. Mr. Jared Vanderbilt, 22 minutes, 0 for 2 shooting, 0 for 1 3-point, 0 for 0 foul shots, and a big O in points. Zero. Holy macaroni.
0.
So that case, Mr. LeBron James had to stay in the whole game. He played 45 minutes. He hit 12 of 21, 3 of 6 in 3-point land, 3 of 3 in the foul shot lane, and he gave him 30 points.
He gave him 30 points.
Negative 14 in the point.
There's a reason why he played the whole game, because he really wasn't out there playing any defense.
Oh, my God.
Negative 14. When he was on the floor, the team went down by 14 points because LeBron ain't playing no defense, anybody. He ain't playing no defense. There is no D in LeBron or James. It's not a D. There's an E, there's a J, but there ain't no D.
Mr. D'Angelo Russell came in and gave him 24 minutes, 1 of 9 shooting, 0 for 4 in the 3-point lane. He didn't go to the foul line at all. He got a negative 2 in the plus minus, and he gave him a big 2 points.
He disappears in the big games, Mr. D'Angelo Russell. So there you go. They deserve to be together.
Austin Reeves, 39 minutes, 4 of 13 shooting, 1 of 5 3-point, 3 of 3 from the foul line. And he gave him, he's a 0 in plus minus. So no matter either way.
Yeah, either way, I'm okay. I didn't give you anything, but I didn't take anything away from you.
He gave him 12 points.
And here's the real story of this game. He's going to go off. Mr. James is going to describe to you what the bench did that saved the game for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Bench gave him 40 points. You win, Derek Schroeder came in there and gave him 33 minutes, 5 of 12 shooting, 3 of 4 in the 3-point lane, 8 of 8 from the foul line, gave him 21 points.
21 points.
22, plus 22 in the plus minus column.
Now, you look at the bench. The bench, if Rui Hachimura gave him 12, but a plus 20, which means they're out there playing defense. So the bench came in, was playing defense, okay? They gave the plus 20 for Rui Hachimura, a plus 10 for Troy Brown, a plus 22 for Dennis Schroeder. They're the ones who won. If we look at the top up here, I'll tell you, the only guy who had a plus in the starters is Anthony Davis, plus 9. Vanderbilt gave you a -12. LeBron James gave you a -14. D'Angelo Russell gave you a -2. And Austin Reeves, well,
He's neutral.
he was neutral in the whole matter. Austin said, "You can't look at me. I didn't take nothing away." I always have to point that out. Now, another thing we like to point out is the disparity in free throws.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, LA shot 24 free throws and made 22 of them. And I'll let you tell them what the Timberwolves got.
9.
The 15 free throws. They only got 15. Yeah, they got 15. I thought if they could keep the disparity under 10, they could win the game, but they didn't. They kept it at 9. They managed to only have a 9 free throw disparity. Whenever you play the Lakers, you're always going to get the short end of that. But generally, if you can keep it under 10, and if Anthony Edwards has a good game, this is a blowout.
So they hit 14 of 15.
Yeah, they had 14 or 15. They let him get time. They let him go to the foul line. Yeah. So LA wins again. Oh, that's a surprise. And so it happens. That's how it happens. Now,
so shall it be. So shall it be.
Now, in the Eastern Conference, coming up, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's my bet that it's going to be the Miami Heat. Then we have the Boston Celtics. They're going to be going to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Yay, yay, yay. That is like bada boom, bada bang. Philadelphia is going to be taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be taking on the New York Knicks. What do you think about that, Mr. James?
Those two games, the Brooklyn Nets and the Knicks, Philly, you better play your best game. Don't take a break because the Nets will slip up on you. In Cleveland, New York's been playing great away from home. So Cleveland and then those two games are suspect. I think Milwaukee will do their thing, Boston do their thing, but the Knicks and the Nets have a chance to win.
I don't want the Celtics to beat. I don't want the Celtics to beat Atlanta too fast. But
You want
then
them to go
again,
7?
yeah, no. I just beat them in 5. Let them win one game at home, and then beat them in 5, and that way you get to play all your players. Let your players get in there and get some game in, and and your starters and your bench players, let them get some run in, and keep them healthy. Matter of fact, you should be able to play most of your bench players and beat Atlanta.
Right.
So
Celtics
that way
in 4. Celtics in 4.
Yeah, probably.
Celtics
Yeah,
in 4. Bucks
probably,
in 4.
yeah.
Bucks in 4. I think the other two will go 7.
Wait. The Bucks over the Heat in 4?
Yeah.
I'm giving the Heat. Heat's going to win some games.
But the Heat only plays the Celtics. They don't play nobody else.
You're right. You're right. They tend to lay down when they're playing other teams. I don't know why is that?
They only go 7 with the Celtics, but they ain't gonna go 7 with the Bucks.
Why is that? Why is it that when they play the Celtics,
It's got something about that.
you know what? It's that Pat Riley's LA against Boston mentality. We always have this team up to play Boston. He still hates the sight of green.
Hey, what did Rondo say? Rondo said, "We don't bring playoff titles. We bring championships.
We bring championships. There's no Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference winning finals, whatever banner in the Boston Garden. And me and him haven't gone there. We know this to be true. The only thing that's hanging in the Boston Garden are championship banners, whatever you might want to call them, flags, whatever, but the championship. 1956, 1957, 1959, 1960, 1961, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. They lose in 67, and then they get in 68 and 69. That's 11 and 13 years. Then they have the Havlicek Collins years. Then they have the Bird years. Then they have the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen trio. But that's the only thing that hangs in there are championship banners.
That's it.
So I don't know what to say about the rest of these teams that don't have that. It's an abundance of riches, and yes.
Well, I guess you just answered the question why Miami plays us so hard.
I guess I did. They're just hating.
Good job.
They're just hating. They come in, they look at it. I think they have 2 banners, right? So maybe 3. They got 3, and the Celtics have 18.
There you go. There you go. That's it right there. So anytime they play in that arena, they look up and be like, you know what? They're not going to win tonight. They ain't winning tonight. I'm telling you,
we're gonna have to work for this tonight. Which kudos to them. That's not going to be great for the Bucks. I guess I'm picking Miami to win 2 games out of that. So 2 games out of that. Now I'm thinking you're taking Philadelphia. If they win this, it will be 5-1. If it goes 7 games, I'm taking Brooklyn. I think the longer it goes, the younger these young guys are going to keep running, and Philadelphia's going to run out of gas.
Yeah, because all they got is Embiid.
That's all they got is Embiid.
And he's not going to be able to go this whole
7 games, running up and down the court. The way they're going to do them, yeah, they need to get rid of this team quick, or else they're in trouble. Now, this is interesting. I have a feeling you're my brother, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and everything. But I know you're going to take the Knicks in this one. What do you think? Yep. I knew it. I know you. Yep. I'm going to go with Cleveland. We'll see what happens. But the home court advantage goes to Cleveland.
That's all right. That's the Knicks played better away from.
You're right. You're totally right. So it might go 7, and if it goes 7, the Knicks are going to win it. That's my prediction too.
Yeah.
If it goes before that, I think Cleveland can take it.
Yeah.
Now let's move over to the
Knicks and the Nets. Yeah. Go ahead.
What we got in the West? This is the Western Conference we got here. The Denver Nuggets are going to take on. Well, who's going to win? Who's playing later on this? Let's see.
Next
OKC in Minnesota. OKC in Minnesota. I smell bad news. For the for OKC. Minnesota's going to take this game, and then if they take this game, I smell bad news for Denver. Anthony Edwards is going to be like this for the rest of it. When he starts getting into a series, he starts getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pick it up, and if he does, then it's going to be trouble in paradise. Karl-Anthony Towns is back. He's going to get his legs. Rudy Gobert won't be suspended. He'll be back.
He stopped punching his players, his fellow players.
But that was barely a punch. Did you see that?
No.
I mean, it's just a terrible excuse for a punch.
The gesture alone is the problem.
That was the problem. They said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that to your teammate." I would have swept that under the rug so they could have beat the Lakers. Rudy Gobert could have scored 5 points and beat the Lakers.
There's no broom. There's no broom and there's no rug. You wrong all day.
Really?
All day, yeah.
I mean, this is playoffs, baby. This is playoffs. That's
all right. Then you ought to be smart enough to know that. I'm
gonna fine you, but I expect you to be on that court and to make up for this. Make up for what you did out there in the playoff court. That's what I would have said to him.
Okay.
That didn't work, but anyway. So they're going to be taking on the Timberwolves, and I think the Timberwolves are going to give the Denver Nuggets, I think they're going to take them out. Then we move on to the Memphis Grizzlies and your Los Angeles Lakers.
There you go.
What do you see?
Grizzlies.
What?
Grizzlies in 7.
If it goes 7, they might break them down to LeBron to quit.
Grizzlies in 7.
Yeah, they got some young legs. We'll see what happens. Then we have the Sacramento Kings against the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State.
You know what? I'm going to go with Sacramento this time. I'm going with Sacramento. It's just for the heck of it. I don't want to see Golden State again. I don't know if that's good enough of a reason for not.
I don't want to see them either, but that's just that's the drop of the barrel on that one.
Well, Sacramento, come on, show something. Okay, then we have
Phoenix all day.
Phoenix Suns against the LA Clippers. So you got the Suns versus the Clippers. Suns all day. Yeah, I feel the same way. Suns all day. It's not gonna happen. Paul George is gone and Kawhi Leonard's there, but Russell Westbrook is playing like Russell Westbrook, which is all good till it gets to be the fourth quarter in a playoff game.
And he thinks he got to take the last shot.
Yeah, then he thinks he's got to take the shot. It's a brick. And listen, I love Russell Westbrook. He's got a mentality that you got to admire because no matter what, he plays 100 and he gives 120%. He just doesn't know when, I don't think he fully recognizes sometimes when he should shoot and when he shouldn't shoot. I think he thinks it's on all the time.
It's not that he don't recognize it. He just chooses to continue to shoot.
He don't care.
He don't care.
Okay.
He's been around forever.
Well, I can't, but still that shows a lack of recognition.
Some habits are bad to break. Hard to break.
You got to want to win the big one, not just playing the game.
He's not Rondo. Rondo knew at the end of the game, don't shoot the ball, buddy.
Rondo gets over half court. He's passing the ball and backpedaling back down.
He's looking for Ray. Looking for Ray. He's looking for Paul. He's looking for Kevin. But he knows that he's not going to take that shot.
But in Rondo's case, Rondo should have shot that shot. He should have, Rondo, the problem with Rondo was he needed to practice his free throws, and he lost confidence in himself at the free throw line. So it was Ben Simmons before Ben Simmons. He did not want to get fouled. Rondo would drive the ball all day to the hoop, the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, he would not drive at all because he knew they were going to foul him. And if they fouled him, he had no confidence in himself going to the foul line at that time. And I always said, if Rondo, if I was Rondo, or if someone could have talked to Rondo, they should have told Rondo, you shoot free throws every day, 500 to 1,000 every day. And Bruce Bowen was a terrible free throw shooter. Became a good one. There's plenty of free throw shooters that were not that good, but repetition would have made you good. And I know you would have been a great player, Rondo, had you done that. Not just a good player, you would have been a great player. Nobody would have been able to stop the Celtics, and nobody would have been able to stop you because when you came in the league, you could not be stopped taking the ball to the hoop. If you develop a 6-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot shot, it would have been off the hook, and that's the way life goes sometimes. But that was the problem that Rondo experienced.
That was his only weakness, man.
It was his only weakness. And it was a shame because that kid there, when he if he, somebody had been there to push him to do that, and he's a tough character. If somebody had been there on him to do that, then he'd probably still be playing today. Yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for us. By the next time you see us, which is next Tuesday, I believe the first round, as we know them, should have begun. Probably start Sunday. And the Celtics will be whooping up on the Hawks in the Garden on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, looks like somebody's calling you, man. I guess we got to get off. Is that? Did you have somebody say call me at 1 o'clock? Then I can say I got to go. Is that one of those things?
Cousin hitting me back. I'll hit him back.
Hopefully we have some new and exciting things that are going to be coming up for next season in basketball, and we'll talk about that later as the situation progresses.
Yeah, yes, sir. We got the Lakers and Grizzlies on Sunday. We got to be announced for the Bucks. We got the Clippers and the Suns on Sunday, and to be announced on the Nuggets. So we'll see how it goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. It's been fantastic. Sports Network, we're here to give you the best thing. And remember, you are the most important person in sports, not the athletes, you, how you conduct yourself and how you conduct your life. Let's go forward in this life and bring as much joy as we can to it and try to be the best people we can be on the court, on the field, and off for you fans.
Make it your best day.
Make it your best day, everybody. With that, we're out of here. Have a good day. We'll see you on Tuesday. Ciao. Oh, wait a second here. I forgot. We have a little something here. A little music? All right. Let it rock and roll.